In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use the Engraved text feature in the Expert Moldbase extension. If you open the component dialog for an ejector pin, you can see that on default, the checkbox Add Engraved Text is grayed out. To use this, we first must define in the options what text should be engraved into the ejector pin head. So let's open the options dialog and scroll to the option param EGP Engraved Text. Here we need to insert a valid parameter as value. For that, we are going to switch to the parameter tab. A valid engraved text parameter needs to belong to a part, and it needs to be of type string or integer. So part name, part ID, and so on would be all valid parameters. But in this case, I'm going to create a new custom parameter called EGP ID. It should belong to a part, and it should be of type string, and I'm going to give it a default value of x, y, z. So let's switch back to the Options tab and use the new parameter EGP_ID as value for the engraved text feature. Click on Modify and confirm with OK. If I open the component dialog for an ejector pin now, the engraved text feature can be used, and if I click OK, you can see that the default value XYZ has been engraved into the ejector pin head and the plate. I'm going to remove the engraved text because we first need to assign some values to our new ejector pin IDs. There are several ways to do this. You could of course simply open the parameters of an updated ejector pin model and change their value for EGP ID to, for example, 001. And if I add the feature now, you can see the updated text. A better way to do this is to use the Bill of Material dialog. Here you can see the new column for the EGP ID, and I'm going to assign new values for my ejector pins and update this by clicking OK. Let's engrave the ID for these pattern ejector pins here, which is 003. Now to change the position of an engraved text feature extrusion, edit the definition of the feature and go to the feature sketch. I'm going to update the angle to 60 degrees and the radius to 5.5 mm to set a new position for the text. Another common problem you might run into is that the engraved text does not fit on the ejector pin head. To demonstrate this, I'm going to change the ID for the ejector pin 1 and set this text to tutorial. If I add the engraved text now, you can see that the word tutorial exceeds the diameter of the selected ejector pin head. The reason for this are the defined text heights. Go to the Options dialog, open your Emacs configuration folder and open the Engraved Text Heights config. Listed here are all valid text heights. Now Emacs will try to fit the text on the ejector pin head using one of these heights, but currently it cannot go smaller than 2 mm. I'm going to update this value to 1.8 mm and save the file. To re-import this change engraved text heights config, simply open your Options dialog once again and click OK. I will remove the engraved text feature, then change this pin to a bigger size of 5 mm. If I add the engraved text now, you can see that with these new settings, the text tutorial, which now has a height of 1.8 mm, does fit on the updated ejector pin. Lastly, I'm going to show you the different sketch types that you can use for this feature. Once again, I'm going to open the Options dialog and go to the option EGP Engraved Text Sketch Type. On default, this option is set to contour, but I'm going to change this to middle line and click Modify and OK. Re-adding the engraved text feature shows that the text in the sketch now is no longer written as a contour, but with simple lines. The extrusion feature, on the other hand, is unchanged. Now, writing extruded text in Creo in general can reduce the performance quite a bit when you have many of these extruded text features. Hence, there are further sketch types available. If you set the type to Contour Curve Text Only, no extrusion feature will be added to the ejector pin or the plate. The idea here is written as a simple sketch text. So, the best course of action is to first find parameters that fit your Moldbase project and then apply the engraved text features to all the chosen ejector pins.